What's up, everybody? Robert back again with another video for you guys. Today you guys are going to get my reaction to a video that came out a few weeks ago about how oil barons are stealing money from their truck drivers. So you'll get my reaction to that today. You don't want to miss it. So guys, I saw this video a few weeks ago while I was scrolling through YouTube, and I thought, you know what, it might be a good opportunity to make a reaction video for you guys. So I haven't watched it yet. This will be my first time watching it, but you guys will get the full reaction because I thought it was an interesting topic about how, you know, these oil companies out here stealing money from truck drivers. So let's get into it. Should be good. Absolutely.
Think about sitting in a truck at a wellhead that's serviced by Halliburton, owned by, let's say, ExxonMobil, and you're there with no restrooms, no ability to get a cold drink for anywhere from
absolutely.
4 to 6
That's sand hauling all the way.
Up to as much, from what I've heard, 36 hours.
He's not very happy about that. Look at all those trucks right there, guys. That's sand hauling. Guys, that is sand hauling right there if I've ever seen it, man. So what happens is, most of the time when you have like a pile up like that at a well site, most of the time the frac's down, or you know, they're in between stages or something. Sometimes they're in a transition where we're going from one stage to a next. We call that a transition. And yeah, they stack up like this. And also, you know, like I said in my other videos, is that the well goes down and you'll have things like this happen all the time. So yeah, that's pretty accurate right there, what you guys would be looking at for sure.
You get off that line because you can't take it anymore, you are penalized $200, probably fired, because you had to pee.
So I don't know if they would actually fire you for, let's say if you're sitting there for like 24 hours or something like that. If I was hauling sand, first off, I would be carrying food in my truck, you know, some extra waters, things that I could feed myself with. You know, you can always take a nap and things like that. Maybe have some entertainment or something like that, because I know just going to sand, that's probably going to happen. You're going to end up sitting there for a while. So that's what I would do if I was these guys right here. But I don't know if you'd be fired if you were sitting there for a while and let's say you needed to run to the store or go use the restroom or something. I don't think that's a big deal.
Here's a short list of things not to be fucked with. Texas.
That's right, Texas, baby.
And truckers in Texas. This is West Texas in the Permian Basin. It's where 40% of the oil that America produces comes from. That's 6 million barrels of oil every single day. If it were a country,
here in the Permian
it'd be
Basin,
one of the largest producers of oil in the world.
A lot of oil.
But like you can see, the wealth that comes from all of this oil production doesn't naturally just trickle down. People have to fight for every scrap of that. And we came down here to talk to truck drivers who are doing exactly that.
Explain to me, how can the oil field be making billions of dollars and yet paying trash money to the truck drivers?
Venimos a hacer una protesta, más que nada para el bienestar de nuestras familias.
They're fighting for fair working conditions like restrooms and facilities with air conditioning, and to be paid for every hour and every day that they work.
De 12 a 13 horas para tirar un viaje. Para descargar un viaje.
So guys, as far as like restrooms and facilities, yes, on location we have porta potties. I mean, the entire frac crew uses porta potties. Also, on pretty much every frac location, there's like a cool down trailer, what we call a cool down trailer. People might call it a frac shack or whatever. But you can actually go in there and, you know, use their facilities like their microwave. Some people have like some little cooking areas. They got, you know, sink. Sometimes they have snacks in there, things like that. So if you're hauling sand or something, you might want to check in with frac crew just to make sure that they have those amenities. Most frac crews do. So I would check that first, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess, but let's go.
¿Y cuánto te pagaron por estar en espera esas 13 horas? No, nada. Lo que vale el viaje. Y no te pagan por el diésel, no te ayudan cuando vas a esperar.
If they keep us like we are today, we won't be able to keep running.
Back in 2014, each load was over $1,000 a load. Now, it's less than $500 a load. The prices went up on fuel, everything went up, but yet our wages keep on going down. It doesn't make any sense at all.
The owner operator specifically, the fuel surcharge, they don't really pay that anymore. They used to, but it's not really a thing anymore. Some of that has to do with, like I said before, contract renegotiation. So like, say we sign a contract to haul your sand for a year or so at like $1,200 a load. Let's say that contract ends. Let's say another guy comes in and he's like, well, I could do it lower. I could do it for, $950 a load. So that's what happens, like contract renegotiations and things like that. Also, back in the day, whenever I first started, back in like 2014, 2015, there wasn't a whole lot of sand haulers. It was a thing, but there's more companies now than there used to be, let's say 10 years ago. So that's a thing also. I don't know if it would get any better. Hopefully it does, but who knows, man. Obviously owner operators are going to be suffering a lot more than company drivers. So
I spent a day with Oscar Lobos, a trucker in West Texas who's trying to organize an international alliance, American and Mexican truckers, to fight back against corporate greed.
Estamos haciendo una huelga, compa, contra las areneras. Ahorita si querés.
Oscar, like a lot of truckers in West Texas, does a lot of work transporting frac sand, an essential component to big oil's fracking operations in the Permian Basin. Those buildings over off in the distance, everything is flat.
Those are silos. So we drive the truck underneath those big old tubes, and they drop sand into your trailer right there. Once they drop the sand, you just haul butt to the oil well, where they're fracking, and go from there.
In those silos and stuff, you got a lot of silica around, things like that, especially with like a frac crew or something. We wear constant masks. Also, we are covered by our insurance if we were to ever get like lung cancer or something like that, but that is a big risk when you are hauling sand, and especially if you're driving up under the silos because of the silica. I highly do not recommend rolling your window down. Make sure your ventilation is pretty good, I guess, but that's another thing that's not going to be covered as a truck driver if you're hauling for one of these third parties or middlemen or something like that. So that's a big deal. Lung cancer for sure from silica.
Pick up from the sand mine, drop off at the oil well. Sounds easy, but it's not. Drivers sometimes have to line up for hours to get the sand, then sit and wait for hours when they have to unload the sand. And all that wait time is unpaid.
I was there for like 32 hours.
Now sometimes you can't get the merge, just depends on the company you're hauling for.
I didn't get nothing to eat from anybody to check up on us how we were doing. When we asked, hey, can we go get a soda? No, you can't.
So like I said, I'd be bringing food and drinks with me, have a cooler, refrigerator.
Wait time, they don't give nothing.
You think this is unfair?
Very, very unfair.
And when you're waiting, your truck is running. And if your truck is running, you're wasting fuel. And if you're wasting fuel, you're wasting money. We're hoping to get, all hours worked, all hours paid.
Drivers like Oscar are what are called owner-operators. They're not direct employees of the mines or the oil companies. They own and maintain their trucks and are contracted by a middleman for deliveries.
No, they're not. They're looking out for
middlemen who they say aren't looking out for them.
They used to pay us fuel surcharge to help us with our fuel. They cut that out too. So there's a bunch of things that they've been doing to cutthroat our industry in the owner-operator.
Yeah, they're going to look out for themselves, to be honest with you guys. They're not going to look out for the driver. And yes, contract renegotiations over the years have caused a lot of that, man. So, they're looking out for themselves, keep their company running also. So they're trying to turn a profit, but they're also trying to make the drivers profitable. But most of the time, being an owner-operator hauling sand, it's not going to be very profitable for sure.
In this field. I give you, for instance, I made over 180,000 2021. Okay, over half of that went on overheads, went on fuel, tires, parts, not to mention workman's comp and all these other, insurance that we have to pay.
And during the 2, 10, sometimes 30-hour waits, they only have access to the most questionable facilities.
It's a porta-john, dude. And imagine 110 degrees out here with like 40, 50 drivers waiting to get unloaded for 20 hours. Don't you think they're going to want to use the restroom?
Excellent. It's a good choice.
So just like
Sometimes
this, outside of a big
just
sand
to,
pit, you're sitting, it's hot,
That's
and you're how many hours in a place like this? What's a range?
I've waited here for up to 6 hours, just in line waiting, because there was no sand, it wasn't ready, you know.
That's an issue too, man. Like when you get to the sand facility, sometimes they do run out of sand. You might have to wait a little bit. Or it'd just be a lot of people there, you know, like when they call in a job or jobs get called in, you know, say they're sending their trucks back to get another load of sand. If everybody shows up at the same time, obviously you're going to have long wait times and things like that. The best thing to do in that situation is probably call your dispatch so they can notify the oil company, especially if it's going to be like a 10-hour wait, because frac crew also needs the sand also. So most of the time what will end up happening is, if it's not too big of a deal, sometimes that's the only facility they can load out of, but they would probably end up redirecting you to another sand facility or another sand plant. So just keep that in mind.
Just a bunch of lame excuses.
And right behind us here is what you got in terms of facilities, is that right?
And those are the restrooms that we have.
That right there?
That right there, which right now it's 90 degrees, and that thing even has a little mountain.
That's just disgusting, guy.
Up,
oh my goodness.
And
all right, let me.
So you go in there, you open that up,
porta potties and stuff. Let's see what this guy has to say.
What right have they got to tell truck drivers we don't have toilets in the frac sand lines and in the wellheads? Go piss in a bottle or shit in a bucket.
That's Billy Randall. Tell us about yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Absolutely.
I raise hell.
Billy.
A lot of it. For more than 50 years. I am an organizer.
You look like it, Bo.
A truck driver. And the co-founder of Truckers Movement for Justice.
Billy's a trucker from New York who got into organizing in West Texas when he heard some of the horror stories from truckers like Oscar.
I told you we were going to have some fun.
How you feeling, Billy? Feeling good?
Now I am. Hell yeah. Once I start blocking trucks and making sure drivers know who the hell we are and what this is all about, shit, yeah, I'm feeling good.
And so, they got organizing.
And we ain't going to stop until we get what we want.
So the problem with this, man, I understand what they're trying to do, start a movement and things to get kind of like all the sand haulers and truck drivers on board. But the thing is, man, is that I often wonder, like, well, let me put it this way. It's so hard to get everybody on the same page to where everybody's going to be like, okay, we're going to shut our trucks down for, you know, a couple weeks just to, you know, stick it to the man. But I get what they're doing, man, but I don't know how successful it'll be, which is pretty sad.
Which is a national written agreement between truckers, the industry, and the government to set standards for every driver.
Maybe we didn't disrupt your frac sand production and your oil production yesterday. I don't know. We didn't try to. What we tried to do was spread the message of organizing. And we're going to make it so that our families, our communities, have a sustainable future based on the idea and the concept of solidarity.
At some point, all huge movements that end up really changing things, I think, look something like what we saw down here with truckers in the Permian Basin. It was a small group of people who were fed up with how they were being treated at work and decided to actually do something about it. And this is the stuff of real movements, because to a person, every trucker that was stopped immediately knew what this group was talking about.
It's funny that he says that, dude, because everybody who's hauls sand knows exactly what those dudes are talking about. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge, man. Those dudes wait a lot. They get screwed. Yeah, it's not the best conditions hauling sand, dude. That's why I don't think I would ever do it. Not unless I had to, obviously, but I wouldn't haul sand anymore, man. I'm perfectly comfortable just staying with frac, to be honest with you guys. Because, yeah, they get treated like trash, Bo, for sure.
Trabajo normal porque no te pagan. Está pagando lo mismo, está pagando lo mismo. Are you tired of not getting paid while you're waiting to get unloaded? Yes. Are you tired of waiting and not getting paid here? Yes. Okay, join our group. The companies are keeping all this money and stealing from the drivers without them needing to steal from us. If they just paid us what was fair,
waste a lot of time just sitting there waiting at places.
We wouldn't be talking to other drivers. We wouldn't be getting all these other drivers together. But they're making us do this. The industry's pushing us to push back.
We carry the economy on our backs. You done broke our backs. Now we're going to break your economy. Excuse my language.
Let me skip ahead. All right, guys. Anyway, that's about the end of that video right there. But yeah. So afterthoughts, man. I wish these dudes the best, man. Hopefully that they are successful in what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish. Hope so, because man, sand haulers really get the short end of the stick. I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. You know, I hope that they accomplish what they can go out to accomplish, man. That'll be great. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction to this video, how oil barons steal from their truck drivers. So I will leave you guys with that. I hope everybody is staying safe out there, and let's do it, man. Until the next time, keep it between the ditches.